All right, let's get started. We're gonna work on our leather pouches. So you're gonna need your 2 pieces of leather. You're also going to need your um, wax thread, the long piece of wax thread, and you're going to want to get it inside, thread it onto a needle, the needle that I gave you. So your thread was wrapped around cardboard, a small piece of cardboard, and so your needle was also taped onto that cardboard. Once you get your your thread through the eye of the needle, right? You don't want to double it up. You want to just have a single strand because you're going to stitch your pouch all around and come back again. So you need the entire strand. Don't double it up. At the other end, where your needle is not, you're going to do a knot, or actually you're going to do like about 2 knots. This is the knot that I do, that I like to do because it's a bit more solid. So first I get my thread in this manner, and then I do a circle or a loop, and then I get the tip of my thread through that loop. Okay. So it looks like this. Where should I put it? There you go. So it looks like that. And then I do a double knot. And I try for my knot to be right on top of the first one so that it's a little bit bulgy and it's not going to go through the hole where we're putting it through. Mm-hmm. So now my knot looks like this. I like to do that type of a knot where it still has a little hoop at the tip. Okay. So once you've done that, then you begin stitching your work together. I recommend using the suede part for the outer side of the pouch, simply because some of these materials have been treated for waterproof and your paint is not going to latch onto there. I did this one as a sample to kind of show you how it was going to rub off, but it seems that this leather is not treated for being waterproof, so my paint did latch on. So as you can see, I drew my day symbol onto my pouch, and this is going to be the back part of it. I'm also going to leave the suede out in the front, and then when I close it, it's going to look like this, right? And then in the back, it's going to look like that. And I'm probably going to draw another image in the front. So let's get started. I want you to grab the long piece of leather. And again, you decide which is going to be the inner side and which one's going to be the outer one. I recommend the smooth, shiny part, not the suede one, to be the outside of the back of your leather pouch. So as you can see, this is an even match, right? These are molds that we cut out, or that I cut out, and it's an even match, right? Well, the original mold I cut out. So it's an even match with the holes that we punched out as well. So I need for you to begin in the inside. So don't begin on the outside. The reason being is that you don't want your knot to be on the outside, because then it's going to rub up against your pants or whatever, and it can get undone. So your knot should be on the inside. Okay, there's my knot on the inside. And now now that it's coming out through the outside, my thread is coming out through the outside, right? It's going to loop. It's going to do one full circle. One full circle. And it's coming back out of the same hole that it already came out once. So I pull my thread, pull it, pull it, pull it. And my first stitch is going to be horizontal, not diagonal. It's going to be horizontal. Okay, so you can see right there, my first stitch is kind of laying down. It's horizontal. Okay, now that I've gotten this horizontal stitch, I'm just going to work my way down at this point. So I'm going to work my way down. The nice thing is that you already have the holes in this pouch. If we were live, you would be punching out the holes yourselves. So at this point, it's just smooth sailing, right? From now on. We are just going down without skipping a hole. We're just stitching our piece together. So as you can see, and then as you can see, my stitching now is moving downward diagonally. Okay, so continue that, and I'm going to join you once I've once I come to the other side, right? I'm gonna end up coming to the end of my punched out holes. Okay, so also I recommend keep your stitching tight. Do not keep your stitching loose, because if you keep your stitching loose, it's not going to be a secure pouch, and whatever you put inside might come out very easily, especially small items. Okay, so as you're stitching your pouch together, be sure to keep it tight. You don't want to keep it so tight that it shrivels up on you, but you want to keep it tight. Okay, so I'm going to pause here and I'll join you when I'm at the other end. I just want to show you I'm kind of a little bit past halfways, right, with my stitching, and this is how it looks. So again, do not skip a hole. They're all evenly matched, okay? If you do skip a hole, just undo your stitching and, correct that error, okay? Again, you don't want little holes in your pouch because things are gonna just drop out of those little holes, okay? And again, keep your stitching tight. Be patient. Try to enjoy this. In less than an hour, you'll be done with this, okay? All right, I'll be back soon. I'm at my very last hole that I need to punch, right? I mean, that I need to stitch. So I just want to show you that for this one, so I'm at the back, because I started in that manner, right? That it gets me in the back. So this is the very last hole that I'm going to go through. And I'm going to go through it a second time so that my final stitch is not a diagonal stitch, but rather a horizontal stitch. Okay? And starting with a horizontal stitch is very important, otherwise your material is going to be off. It's not going to be synchronized. Okay? So now that I've completed one way around, I'm going to go back. And as you can see, my stitches are nice and tight. I didn't miss any holes. So now I am just going to work my way down this time, going back to where I started. All right, so remember, you want to achieve the flower, right? You want to achieve the shoshik in the work that you do. So be patient with yourself. Enjoy this. If you make a mistake, undo it, right? All right, we'll see you shortly. So I have worked my way around this pouch and I'm back where I started. So I'm going to do my last stitch, and I also want my last stitch to be a horizontal stitch. And I do not want to bring it out to the back. I'm going to do my knotting in the inside. Okay, I want to keep my knotting in the inside. So for your knot, I'm going to position this in this manner. So for your knot, what you want to do is you want to create, and see how much thread I have left still. So what you want to do is you want to create a loop, right? And you want to go through it with your needle. So as you can see, I created a circle. I want to keep as close as possible to near the leather, because I don't want my knot to come out all the way out here. I wanted to keep it close to where the other knot is. And I'm just gonna do, I think, 2 knots, because I already had 2 knots there from when I started. I'm gonna do a third one. Sometimes I don't know when to stop with knots. I'm gonna do a third knot, and again, I'm keeping my fingers there so that the knot doesn't come out and end up being out here. I'm trying to control where the knot ends, or where the knot stays. So as you can see, I've got a bulgy knot there. Okay, hopefully you can see. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to open my pouch in this manner, and this hanging thread, I don't want it on the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm tucking it through the stitching. I'm having my needle go in through the stitching, and then that's how I'm going to cut off my thread. So if you can see, my hanging thread is going to go through the stitching, so it's going to kind of be secure inside that stitching. And you can, go as far down as possible as you want. I don't recommend going too much down there. And then doing that also pulls your knot towards the bottom, so that it's not sticking out on the top over here. I think I'm gonna go through the stitching through maybe 2 more stitches. I'm gonna go 1 through 2 more stitches. So you see, this is how I secure my thread so that it's not out there hanging. Knots that end up on the outside will tend to get undone with time. Okay, and then you should also have scissors available too. And what I'm gonna do over here, I'm gonna do another knot, just so that thread doesn't come out from there. I'm gonna do 2 knots over here, just to secure, make sure that that thread stays there. And now I am ready to, I'm gonna pull on it so that the knot is secure. And now I cut. And this is how it looks like on the inside. You have the knots up here, and then you went through the stitching, right? And you have another, you can't really see this other little knot that I did, but right there it is. And there you go. I'm gonna pause it to show you how to put the button. So with my remaining thread, right now I double it up. It's still, my needle is still in here. I'm going to do 2 knots. So again, for this knot, my thread is doubled up, right? I do a hoop or a loop, and then I get the tip of my thread to go through the loop. And I want to, just keep it at about that distance. And I want to play it safe. I'm going to do a double knot. And I'm going to try for my knot to stay on top of my original knot, the very first one that I did. Now keep in mind, this is wax thread, so it'll be slippery. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put your wooden bead secure it here in the center, because this is going to be how you're going to, this is how you're going to close your pouch. So I put my thread from the inside. I'm coming from the inside of the pouch and out for the front. I put my wooden bead through the needle, right? And then I come back out from the same place that I initially came in through, and it's going to cause for your bead to get secured here. And what I'm going to do in the inside, just for security reasons, you know how there's a loop, right? Because you have a double thread, I'm going to go through that loop and pull as much as possible. Right? So it looks like this. And I'm going to make it secure. So I'm going to go in through the hole from the inside out to the front, and I'm going to go through the hole of my bead, right? And then back out the hole. And I probably will want to do that 3 times just to be on the safe side. So I'm coming out from the inside of the pouch. Oop. I think I undid my work. I took it out. So again, be mindful not to do that, okay? Kind of keep a watch as to where, oh, it keeps happening. I'm gonna pause. Okay, never mind about doing it with the thread, stitching your wooden bead with the thread. I want you to use the leather lace that I also gave you with the program materials. And I want you to do a double knot at one end. Then I want you to put the other end, right? At one end, you have a double knot. The end that does not have a double knot, bring it through your center hole. Now put the bead through there, right? And now you want to bring this back through the hole, but your bead is going to secure it in place, right? Or rather, your bead is going to be secured in place. In this manner, right? And now what you want to do is you want to do another double knot at the other end to keep your bead secured. So it's just one of those knots where you do a loop and just to be on the safe, you can just leave it with one, but I like to do double knots to just be sure they're not going to get undone. They're a bit more secure when you do them that way. It's a bit more bulgy, but I feel more comfortable with double knots. And now you just clip it with your scissors. Securing my knots. And there you go, right? And so, okay, I just needed to go and cut this this line because I didn't have it in my piece of leather. So This is a very basic way of closing your pouch, right? Uh, what you do is then you just, since it's the first time that it's going through, it's a bit snug. But the more you use it, the easier that it's going to be. And that's how you close it. Okay. And for opening it, you just go like this. There you go. Very basic leather pouch. We use it to keep copal in here. We'll use it to keep sage, cedar, anything. Maybe you want to keep quartz, or if you're into healing stones or gems, right? You may want to keep them here. But you can use it for whatever it is that you want to use it. I'm gonna go ahead and create a decoration. I'm also gonna go ahead and post some pre-Hispanic stamp images if you want to use that to decorate um, the front or the back. It's up to you. All right. But those will be posted as pictures. And then I'll also post a picture of my decoration. And the way that you decorate is basically the way you decorated your t-shirt. You draw an image onto here, much the way that I drew this Olin. So I freelanced it. I just used like a, a glass, I think it was, or a cap to a bottle to just make sure that I was gonna get a roundish, right? That was gonna come close to creating a circle for the center part. And then the lines, I basically just, I might have used a ruler, or I might have just winged it, right? But I think I did use a ruler so that I didn't have any regrets. But you've seen the pre-Hispanic images of the codices that I think they basically, had a good hand and they freelanced it. But so I'm going to continue to paint this, and I'll post a picture on the Google Classroom. All right. And again, you're going to be using your Toshli essence as well, because that's about creativity, and you want to achieve the flower at the end of your project. Have fun.